Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids, and today we're looking at the September Spec Ops Global box. This is a monthly subscription box that you get from Spec Ops Global, and this one is geared around all kinds of medical items. So we do have a multi-tool in there, we also have some medical shears, and then lots of other items to build a really solid trauma kit. You're not going to get tons of Band-Aids and things like that. You can pick that up at your local Walmart or pharmacy, whatever it is. But this is going to give you a really good base for building that more intense, more serious situation trauma kit. And we're going to look at a bunch of the items kind of in the package. We're going to open a bunch of them up so you can see what they look like in use. So let's jump to it. Okay, let's jump into the gear here. We got 4 different levels. We have the Junior ROTC, we have the New Recruit, then we have the Seasoned Non-Com, and then we have the Elite. So at the Junior ROTC level, first thing you're going to get is this Swat Tourniquet. This is made in the USA. The idea is it's something that you can stretch and wrap around, a serious wound, obviously. So this right here is a Swat Tourniquet. Unwrap it here. This looks like kind of a piece of rubber, but you can see it says stretch, wrap, and tuck. And then basically it's communicating that it's functioning as a tourniquet if the ovals become circles and the stripes and diamonds become squares. So as you stretch this out, you can see that those things change shape. So from rectangles, you want to have it so it's like that. So it's actually, they look like squares. So I am no pro at this, but just to give you a sense, I'd say I had a massive wound here and I was trying to cut off blood flow. So, obviously the whole discussion about tourniquets, when to use them, not, that's just out of the question right now because we're committing to using this, let's say, as a tourniquet. But you're going to stretch, and I'm going to stretch so this becomes, these look like squares, and then I'm going to start wrapping it over, right? So let me roll this up a little bit. I'm trying to do it with just one hand. Let's say this hand was injured. So stretch, looks like squares, start wrapping it over. And I'm probably doing this terribly, but again, if I was bleeding out and I was using a tourniquet, this is probably how I would do it. So, and then I'm looking at these squares or these rectangles, stretch it out again until they become squares, wrap it again. Now it's definitely quite tight. You can already see my hand turning pretty much bright red there. Stretch it again, wrap it again. Yeah, that's definitely uncomfortable. Look at my hand, man. It's turning bright red. Oh yeah, here we go. Stretch it. Wrap it, and then at the end you're going to tuck it underneath. I'm definitely not going to get that far because my hand is already going crazy. I will note here, you also have this, which it says, just get the right light on it. So it says stretch, wrap, and tuck, and then the time. So that's important that if you put a tourniquet on, you know when it was put on. So that gives people who are giving further medical care in the future a sense of, when was this put on? Was it put on 5 minutes ago or 5 hours ago? And that's implications for what they do medically. Here's another use. You can use it to wrap ice onto a part of your body or to wrap up a sprain. Let's just say I had to get, a big old bag of ice here on my leg. So you'd put the ice down, you'd wrap this around it, and then not doing it nearly as tight as I would with a tourniquet, but you can wrap this around a couple times and then just tuck it in underneath. So stretch was the phrase, stretch, wrap, and tuck. So there you go. Now that's secured, and because it's rubberized, it kind of grips to itself, so it's going to keep the ice or whatever's underneath here stable. And certainly, like I said, you can use this as a wrap for your ankle. You could even use it as a sling if you set it up. It's not going to be great, but you could certainly use it to like secure an arm in place while you were moving around. Here's a look at your second item. This is a supplement bar. It's from the Ukraine. You can see it says, kind of looks like an R, R-E-M-O-T-O-R-E-H. I have no idea how to pronounce that, so I'm not going to even try. Basically, it's listed as an iron supplement bar, and it contains black food albumin, which is received from defibrinated cow's blood. Lots of big words there. Essentially, yes, the guy from Spec Ops Global says that you could call this a cow blood candy bar. And the idea is that it's got, it's going to assist in healing open wounds and broken bones. So essentially, you're going to eat this, and through what it puts into your bloodstream, into your body, it's going to actually help you heal up nicely. So let's take a bite and see what we think about it. All right, let's try out this bar here. Cow's blood bar. Honestly, I must put a lot of sugar in this because first couple of bites you're like, that's not too bad. I mean, I would choose this over a Snickers, but it must have a ton of sugar in it because it tastes, or some sort of sweetener. It tastes like maple syrup. I can't read Ukrainian on the ingredients, but very maple-y taste. But if you say to somebody you're going to eat a cow's blood bar, probably not. But if I just said, hey, try this candy bar, it's from Ukraine, you're probably like, All right, not that bad. I'm going to save it and give it to somebody in the office here and see what they think. Third up here we have a pressure bandage. It's often called an Israeli bandage. It is from Israel. It's used by U.S. Special Forces and also the PALSAR, which are Special Operators Support Units in Israel. And it's been used in a variety of settings. So certainly in the military, there are plenty of applications. And then obviously if you're a civilian and you come across a bad situation, this could be a big help. So just the official notes here, it says this bandage incorporates a non-adherent pad, a pressure applicator, a closure device, and can quickly and easily be applied to oneself or to a battle buddy. So again, we're going to open this thing up so you can actually see what it looks like. You can see on the front there it does have an expiration date. So expiration date for this one is 3/20/22. So we got quite a bit of time, but it's good to know, even, you get this and you have it for a while and you look at it, you're like, oh, it's expired. I'm going to have to get a new one. So let's bust open the Israeli bandage. You can see the Israeli bandage. It's pretty bright, as far as shining into the camera, but this is what it looks like. It's got a couple plastic pieces attached here. And when you take it out of the package, it definitely goes like psss. So it's obviously pressure packed. Here's how you work it. This side says other side to wound. See if you can get that. There you go. Other side to wound there. And so that means don't put the wound on, or put this on the wound side, put this on the wound side. So let's say again I have a cut on my arm. So you're going to put this, say it's on the top of my arm. I put it like that. You got this plastic piece sticking up. I'm going to wrap it around. Definitely harder to do by yourself than somebody else doing it, but I've got the other side to wound part facing correctly. I'm going to wrap this around, and then I'm going to run it through this little plastic thing like so, and then I'm going to pull back on it to start to make it really secure on top of the wound. Sometimes it pops out, as you can see, but I'm going to pull it back to make it really secure on top of the wound. Pull it through, pull it back. So now it's going to be, located where it should be. I'm going to wrap this around a ton of times. They note on the package, make sure you wrap over the edges. So this goes around and around and around. And again, I'm no pro at this, but I'm learning like everybody is. So it comes all the way around, and then you can see you have this elastic or plastic piece on the other end. And then when it comes around on this side, now you can kind of slip this through underneath. One edge there. Clip it, kind of clip it into place. It's got little teeth there, and then maybe one edge down here. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. It's pretty tough with one hand. Definitely better if someone else was doing this for me. But now, there you go. So it'll stay in place, and you got a bandage on top of the fact that you already have the extra. The other side toward wound portion is definitely thicker, so that's going to go on the wound, and you got this wrapped around, secured in place, and you are, I wouldn't say you're good to go because you're obviously wounded, but you are better to go now in this setup. And what I'll do is I'll find a good video on YouTube and put a link down below in that description section so you can go over to those links and check out how somebody who's a real pro at this sets it up. So we're moving on to the new recruit level, and these are Vids pad markers. They're made in the USA, and they're similar to other military chem lights, but essentially because they are flattened, makes it more visible from a distance. And they're often used to mark personnel or locations. So, if somebody is injured in a particular way, my understanding is the concept, you can place a certain color on a certain person to say this is a high emergency person to evacuate, a high level of urgency versus somebody else who's got, a sprained ankle, low level. But you can certainly use them in a variety of different ways, not just for medical applications, but I've heard you can use it for trail markers and other things like that. Let's break a couple of these open and see how they work. Okay, I got one of these Vizzy pads. It says bend and fold to make light, massage to spread the light, and then peel. So we're gonna bend and fold. I guess right in the middle. Let's see what happens. Oh, there it is. Massage to spread the light. Do it this way so you can actually see it. Just back it up a little bit so the camera doesn't have so much shine on it. And then we're going to peel this back. I see. And so you got the sticky back. So, you can put it on somebody's clothing. Boom. Pick this guy up. He's injured. All right, let me turn off the light and we'll see how well this thing shines. It's pitch black here in my office, as you can't see. And look at this. So basically I just kind of held it at the end and shook it, like that to get it to spread out. But look at that, man. You stuck that on a wall or, it's a trail mark or something, you could definitely see it. And this back section here, you can hear it. My hands are definitely sticking to that very, very much. So it's got probably a section that's, I don't know, 3 inches by 2.5 inches on the back that's really sticky. So yeah, that's pretty cool. VisiTab. Cool. Also at the new recruit level is Celox or Celox. I believe it's actually Celox. This is from the United Kingdom. And the idea is it's basically a kind of a powder granular substance that you pour into a very serious wound. So let me flip it over here. You can see on the back. So you tear it open, you blot away excess blood, and then you pour it into the wound, and then you apply pressure. So this is not for a little boo-boo. It's not when you scratch yourself out in the woods. I mean, this is for a major wound to stop bleeding. I've heard a little bit of controversy about this as far as like when do you use it, when do you not use it. But same thing as tourniquets. Like some people are for them, some people are totally against them. The question is, you know, are you in a situation where it's the best option? So don't just go pouring this into any cut. But if someone's bleeding out and they're going to die, you know, having something that could actually stop bleeding is a really good option. And I've actually seen this in other kits from other companies. I think Wild Hedgehog Tactical actually has this in some of their kits as well. So this is kind of a, I don't want to say it's a classic. That sounds a little too weird, but it's definitely an item that a lot of different companies have used. And recently, the U.S. Department of Defense Committee on Tactical Combat Casualty added this as an approved hemostatic agent for military-wide use. So, you know, they've actually thought it through. Is this going to be helpful? And now you got some of these hemostatic granules for use in a kit. And if you get the Spec Ops Global box at the new recruit level, you're going to get this as well. Also at the new recruit level, we have this styptic pen. This is from France. And it was originally used in boutique shaving stores. So when you got shaved and you got a cut, they would rub this on the cut to stop the bleeding. Eventually people figured it out and they're like, hey, this is going to be great for, you know, other uses. And it notes in the notes I got with the Spec Ops Global box that military medics have used it for small abrasions on the face, hands, feet, and then all those small will bleed profusely. So I don't know if you've ever gotten a cut on your face or your head, but it just bleeds like crazy. And this is something you can use without, you know, pouring Celox into it or, you know, putting a major bandage on it. This is something you can actually get the bleeding to stop by using this HemoStop styptic pen. Last up here at the new recruit level, we have the Idf Dressing. It is made in Israel, and essentially it's about 2 feet of gauze that you're going to put on a wounded area, and this is standard issue for the Israeli Defense Force. Very compact, very small, smaller than the Israeli bandage down there, but still, you know, the idea is that you're going to wrap it around the bandage area, and then, yeah, hopefully it's going to stop the bleeding. So kind of a simpler version of what you have down there in the Israeli bandage, but still a cool item. Now we're on to the season non-com level, and we're looking at rip shears. These are made in the United States of America. These are not standard issue, but from the information I have here, Army combat medics, civilian EMTs, first responder like these a lot because they're easy to use, they're fast, they're flexible. The information that actually came with them says it's 4 tools in one. So you have a trauma shear, a hook knife, a percussion hammer, and an O2 wrench all in one. Yeah, I mean, they look like a standard pair of shears, just kind of like all pumped up with some extra things built into them. I do have a note here that says these are used for everything from removing clothing to combat boots to leather jackets. So obviously a high intensity shear. I've got a pair of standard shears, I believe it is, in my Black Hawk rollout kit, but I may be swapping those out and putting these ones in instead. Really cool. Rip shears from United States of America. So here's the Israeli bandage that I just used, and just to test out the shears here, I'm just going to show you what it looks like to cut through. This is the thicker section, but no problem for the shears. Really easy there. Just do it again. Pull it a little bit taut. No problem there. I mean, even that section that's got extra, you can see what the inside looks like now. Lots of extra bandages inside that apply other side toward wound section. But the shears work great for that. Let's try the kind of like the strap cutter equivalent here. Right here, just try that. Yep. Pull it taut, slide it through. Pull it taut, slide it through. Pull it taut, slide it through. So, yeah, I mean, you can see these things in action definitely get the job done. And yeah, cool. Look forward to putting these guys in one of my med kits. This next item here is a Molly medical pouch. It's made by CP Gear, and it's 100% US and Canadian materials and labor that put this together. So as you can see, Molly on the front, a spot for a patch, Molly on the back to attach it, and then let me just reach around this way. Got some big zippers. Open this up and take a look inside. As you can see inside, lots of organization. So we've got elastic here. We have this is an elastic cord, but it is a cord that you can cinch down. Got a D-ring there to organize gear. There's the bottom. Got a drain hole there. Got a hook and loop there, and then some here as well, and then a couple pockets. You can see CP gear, tactical, and then the American and Canadian flags there. So essentially, you can take all the gear that you got in the Spec Ops Global kit, put it in here, and now you've got a nice little medical kit that you can throw in a bag, keep in your car, keep in the office, whatever it is. CP gear, and I guess officially CP gear tactical. Last up here, you can see the MP600 Basic. Obviously, this is from Gerber. I've talked to Gerber a bunch of times out at SHOT Show, and a regular thing they say is that they're the largest supplier of multi-tools, and I think even knives, to the military. And while this is not necessarily a medical multi-tool, a multi-tool in general for anybody, but for a medic, you can definitely see somebody using this to, repair something, or even, with these pliers, pull out some splinters or whatever it might be. Lots of uses for a multi-tool. So this is all from Gerber. It does come with that little sheath there, but let's open it up and take a look at it outside of the package. Here's a quick look at the multi-tool in its pouch. You can see there's a loop on the back, so you can run a belt through that, and then open this up, take this out. There's the multi-tool. You can actually see that it is kind of in that collapsed form, not kind of, it is in that collapsed form. And then you've got a button here on the side, so you press this, and then you can slide this out, and that's how it actually works. You can do it with one hand, as you saw. I just did. You can also kind of get it going and then swing it, and it'll come out and lock into position. Pliers, these are not spring loaded, but you do have pliers there. You do have a replaceable wire cutter, so you can take that out and replace it if they get dull. And let me show you some of the tools down here in this section. Looking at the tools here, you can see we have a file, we have a plain edge blade, we have 3 options as far as flathead screwdrivers. You could certainly use those for scraping, and also that smallest one right here you could use as an awl. Down on the bottom we have a serrated edge, and then we have your can opener. We've also got a Phillips head screwdriver, and then that little loop there you can use that to attach a lanyard to your multi-tool. 2 last things to mention. One is that you have a ruler here, and then also this little black button. When you bring the blades out or the tools out, they lock into position, so that's now locked in. To release it, you're going to press up on this, and now the blade is released, or the tools can be released to be put back into the handle. There you have all the items from my Spec Ops Global September box. And I do want to let you know that there's links down below if you want to check out Spec Ops Global, what subscriptions look like and stuff like that. We also have a code down below if you want to use that to get a discount on your first box. I also want to let you know that Spec Ops Global has partnered with us. They're going to be giving away a bunch of boxes in celebration of Everyday Tactical Vids hitting 100,000 subscribers. So big shout out to Spec Ops Global and their team over there. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, and stay tuned. We're going to let you know very soon how you can win one of those 3 different boxes that they're giving away. So thanks as always for checking out these videos. More videos coming soon. Take care.